So have you ever thought about the future of the New Zealand design profession? What will it be like in 20 years? Well, we have. In this video, we will discuss where we are now, where we want to be, and how we will get there. This is our desired vision for the future. So where is the design profession now? What is happening in our country at the moment? Firstly, we have unemployed designers. There are heaps of design graduates, but no jobs. There are currently 58,000 unemployed New Zealanders between the ages of 16 and 25. 22,000, or around 40% of this group, are recently qualified tertiary graduates. There is scope for more jobs, but companies are not utilising design thinking. In a recent survey, less than 20% of the companies had invested considerably in design in the last 2 years. Even if companies were willing to employ designers, they are low down on the priority list. Quality, reliability, sales, pricing, marketing, logistics and brand are more important. Because designers are low down on the priority list and companies are focused on profit-based business models, they are unwilling to employ designers. However, those who are willing to employ don't have the funding to do so. This is mainly due to the recession. The situation for us is looking pretty grim because we are going to graduate soon, and at this stage, it looks like we're going to be jobless. What else is going on? Well, we have the issue of local supply versus importation. Cheap imports are flooding the market. The Free Trade Act between China and New Zealand has encouraged importation of cheap goods. In the last 5 years, imports from China have doubled. This has also opened up the door for New Zealand designers to be copied and sold under market value, cutting the designer out of the process. Locally manufactured products are more expensive to the equal imported goods. Local manufacturers are going out of business because they cannot compete with the reduced cost of imported goods. The Minister of Economic Development has estimated 16 jobs are lost for every $1 million of imported products that we could make here. A simple calculation shows 50,000 jobs are lost to Chinese imports alone. Because the products are so cheap, consumers are more inclined to purchase imported goods. Therefore, there is less incentive to buy Kiwi-made. We feel, as upcoming designers, this possesses yet another challenge in getting our products to market. Sustainability. The world is running out of resources. Our group on average will require 4 planets to sustain our current lifestyle if we continue this trend. Part of the reason we use so many resources is because of our consumer mindset. We buy for the sake of buying. Obsolescence in design, whether it is for designing products with a limited lifespan or designing products with a perceived lifespan, means that we are continually consuming goods. Companies are using sustainability as an image rather than embracing its values. Also, people are ignorant to sustainability, but awareness is growing. In a recent UL Global report on product mindset, 90% of manufacturers surveyed felt confident that they were ahead of the curve in delivering safety, reliability, and sustainability. However, over 65% of consumers believe manufacturers have not taken enough steps to ensure that their production follows environmental procedures. Sustainability is now present in our design thinking. As designers, we feel that it is an important consideration for the future. The future of our profession is also influenced by our social values. Our current supply chain model relies on an outside-in mentality, where we source globally before looking towards local suppliers. So we have become dependent on consumerism, which makes us a society of disposable goods. However, our Kiwi can-do attitude and do-it-yourself mentality means there is an opportunity to change consumer mindset. What is our current mindset? Well, even though we talk about sustainability, we are still ignorant to it. Currently, we are only meeting the minimum legal requirements and not taking into consideration social values and environmental factors. We lack the implementation of new technologies, and we're not striving for innovation. We are designing products to be less bad rather than good. If we carry on with this business as usual model, this is what could happen. But is this really what we want? Is this our desired future? No, this is our perfect and desired future. What's standing in our way? We have no money to employ designers. We can't compete with cheap labour rates. Our industry is driven by profit. People don't want to pay more than they have to. Slow governmental change. Any new legislation takes too long to process and quickly becomes outdated. Tall poppy syndrome. Our unwillingness to stand out acts as a barrier to commercialisation. Geographical location. Our isolation means we rely heavily on imports. People don't like change. And businesses aren't aware of the advantages of having designers. So what will help us break through these barriers? Future generations. A generation that is more future-focused and educated about the changing world will help bring about change. Using design thinking in business, companies who already do this have increased their revenue by 40% over their competitors. Design with intent. Utilising design as a platform to communicate our vision of a more sustainable future makes the message more tangible to consumers. Changing perception and social awareness of sustainability. Government funding for design-driven initiatives. Political influence. This has the ability to educate people and bring about law changes. For example, the Green Party encourages sustainable principles and fair trade policies. And finally, have incentives to buy Kiwi-made. Incentives like lower tax on New Zealand-made goods would encourage people to buy locally, boosting our local economy. What are the tools that will help us to implement these drivers? Well, there are advances in our technologies. Emerging technologies could bring about different solutions to some of our current issues. I mean, the Stone Age didn't end because we ran out of stones. The Greens Fair Trade Agreement. The Greens' key policies are the ecological limits to production and trade need to be understood and respected. We must promote sustainable and just ways to economic development and prosperity. Human rights and fair labour standards must be promoted and respected. The environment must be protected. A local government commitment to buy local. Reduce our dependence on imported goods, for example, food and wine that we can grow here. Education. Knowledge gained through education creates awareness and an atmosphere of change. Advertising and social media. Through different forms of social media and advertising, it is becoming increasingly easier to communicate with the world. For example, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and viral campaigns such as Coney 2012. New business models. Business models that don't rely solely on profit, such as the triple bottom line, that when implemented, give balance between profit, people, and planet. New design approaches. Implementation of design approaches such as cradle-to-cradle, biomimicry, life cycle design, and permaculture encourage better design rather than less bad design. Extended producer responsibility. Companies which take back their end-of-life products can design cleaner, more resource-efficient products if they are responsible for their own brand goods. If we utilise this information, there is no reason why we can't reach our perfect and desired future. So what is our desired future of the design profession in New Zealand? We want a prosperous country. We want design thinking to be used in business. We want technological advances to better our designs. We want to let our tall poppies grow. We want everyone to be fully aware of sustainability. We want designs with intent. We want to be community focused. We want to buy New Zealand made. We want the government to legislate green design initiatives. We want working environments that embrace creativity, ideas, values, and dreams. We want advertising and social media to advocate positive social behaviour. We want government funding for design initiatives. We want an integrated design approach that follows new methods such as life cycle design. We want companies driven by sustainability rather than profit. We want educators to create awareness and an atmosphere of change. We want government to legislate on fair trade. We want to work to live, not live to work. We want companies to incorporate business models, such as triple bottom line, that puts profit, people, and planet on a level playing field. We want governmental policies that encourage consumers to buy locally made goods, such as lower GST on Kiwi made. We want a stable economy. We want to use our can-do attitude as a point of difference. We want to protect our resources. We want people to be receptive to change. We want extended producer responsibility to be implemented in New Zealand. We want our community to be socially responsible. We want to reverse the current supply chain model. You look to yourself first, then your community, then your country, then globally. Prioritise in that order. We want New Zealand design to be internationally recognised. And finally, we want to be employed. So where do you want to be? What is your design future? Although we can't fully predict it, if we put the right steps in place now, we can go a long way to secure our desired future.